Gamescom is still going, well, wrapping up today, I think, and we had another panel with Hazzikostas and Paul Kubit talking about Void Demon Hunter finally, Prey, the new feature, and a few other things. That was a good systems panel conversation, and I need to continue expressing my thoughts on this so that we all keep ourselves entertained and connected, my friends. So let's talk about this. So they talked about Void Demon Hunter, new talents, Prey and world content, leveling experience, PvP and quality of life. I will not do it all justice. What's the point? Go and watch it. My thoughts are on the main things, as always, that I particularly like. Okay, without any further ado, let's go. So, Void Demon Hunter, I'm glad to hear more about it. I'm glad that it is confirmed to be a ranged DPS, even though they keep playing with this vague notion of mid-range DPS, which sort of sounds like it's going to be more of an evoker-like spec, where you are expected to dash in and out, at least at optimal kind of efficiency, periodically, like evokers occasionally do. They are ranged, but they dash in and out either to heal or to do damage sometimes. Everything purple, of course, with Void Demon Hunter, which is fantastic. I'm fully in it. I'm fully in it. Confirmed Void Elves race for Void Demon Hunters. That was written all over it. That's not even a surprise. Great thing that was mentioned was that Void Demon Hunters are obviously Alliance, but Paul says that, look, I'm a Horde player, whatever, it doesn't matter, it's just a manner of presentation, but he basically, very transparently told us that other other Demon Hunter race is going to be allowed later in the World Soul Saga. I do not like that it's kind of a bit of a hush-hush vague when. They could say, well, for this expansion for Midnight or World Soul Saga, it means that that combination could come later in The Last Titan. Who knows? I hope not that far. But he definitely mentioned that other Demon Hunter races are going to be allowed to be Demon Hunters. That's good news for me personally. So, sounds like basically the Void Demon Hunter is going to have a couple of intended builds even in that spec. One is more or less fully ranged, and another one is that one dish in and out. That's cool. I like that they have this Psy kind of using Reap effect, and I was hoping and keeping my fingers crossed that they will go one step further and make basically Void Demon Hunters Psy wielders. But I guess because it's Demon Hunter and it's so iconic for them to use Warglaives, and because every Demon Hunter out there, majority of them anyway, are gonna switch to this new spec, they probably didn't want to, didn't want to forget the Warglaives. They didn't want to reduce the demand for Warglaives in the raids and stuff like this. That's why they kept them with Warglaives. But there are a lot of, or maybe just this Reap effect, but they keep referring to it. I understand more than one Psy looking visual effect in the gameplay of Demon Hunter, Void Demon Hunter, and I look forward to it personally, because variety is the juice of life, my friend, and that's what kind of makes me happy. Annihilator hero spec, hero talents spec, dropping meteors on your enemies. Great, sign me up, especially if it's not a separate button, especially if it is something like a passive effect, like at the end of Metamorphosis or something, I don't know. But dropping meteors, yep, sign me up, mate, sign me up. New talents, listen, nothing really to say there. There are going to be 3 extra points given to us for the talent trees, and there is going to be a capstone kind of big massive thing, sort of similar to what the Hourglass, I assume, does in the Horrific Visions and stuff, like that final kind of talent that gets unlocked, except here you'd be able to put 3 extra points into it to make it even ever so more powerful. Cool, alright, I'm cool with that. That's it about Void Demon Hunters. Yes, they talk about specific abilities, like the Void Beam, which is basically the Eye Beam, yeah, and that collapsing star that everyone is losing their minds about. I kind of like, okay, that's cool. Just give me more spells, man. I'm just gonna cast spells. Cool, awesome. I'm happy about Void Demon Hunter. I'm not happy about them being hush-hush about Draenei being or not being able to play as Demon Hunters. I would love to be a Draenei. Alright, Prey. Opt-in hunting system. Cool, excellent. What a relief. Phew. Solo progression, an alternative way to fill your world tier in the vault, similar to delves and world quests. Fantastic, very happy. 3 different difficulties, normal, heroic and nightmare. Great, presumably, not explicitly called out, but presumably with different tiers of rewards. The higher you go, the more eye level they give you. World of Warcraft has always been hinging on loot, whether you're casual, whether you're not. You need to feel like you're getting stronger by doing some kind of content. That's why we want more loot. That's cool. As part of that Prey reveal, they were showing this person on the screen fighting an armadillo-like thing, and they said that's a pangolin. Previously, the only good thing that came out of that very first meh kind of opening panel for World of Warcraft with Maria Hamilton and Ian Hazzikostas, they mentioned that Haranir druids will be able to have a pangolin form. It's this form. Looks like it. Because they said pangolin, and that's the first time I see a pangolin in my life. So looks like tanking form for the Haranir druids is going to be this armadillo, which is cool, which is great. Overall, about Prey, I feel massive relief because I thought for some reason, like I thought initially that it might be some kind of new, inventive world PvP type of system. Yeah, I thought it's a PvP system. I thought you jump onto another player somehow in the world, like under some circumstances, if they didn't opt out into general PvP, but for like a specific reward. It's kind of like a dual system is what I thought. I don't know. But looks like it's a PvE system. It's just basically a mob is going to ambush you, but then, and they ambush you a few times, you sort of hunt them, and then at the end, when there is a one-on-one solo showdown, that is going to be a proper solo showdown without any interruptions. They can't jump you, you will not be engaged in some other fight. That's cool, that's alright, works for me. What else? So everything else that was said was of lower priority. I will just, before I talk about this, I will quickly mention this Mana Worm, this amazing Mana Worm mount. I actually quite like it. I genuinely am pretty... I have mounts, as everyone does, and some good ones too, but I'm basically fairly conservative on what I choose. I don't fly different mounts like some people do, but this Mana Worm looks quite amazing. I actually might switch to fly on that semi-transparent Mana Worm for a while, except I would love to have it in purple, please. If we could get it in purple, that would be great. Other things that were mentioned were leveling experience, updates to leveling experience. Listen, I have a billion of different alts. I don't care about leveling experience, and I'm probably going to level another billion of alts in the new Legion remix. That's the only way I want to level these days. And yeah, everything else, I have my own leveling recommendations, leveling guides. I'm not a specialist anymore, but I usually just simply level my alts as healers or tanks, because the queue is very fast, during the time walking week. It's as simple as that, time walking dungeon week, because those dungeons give a ton of experience as opposed to normal dungeons. The queue is quick, you gearing up as well, and people who are already at max level, they might even pass down their loot, so that as soon as you ding the top level, you will have a whole bunch of loot. There you go, you're welcome. That is how I level my alts, and I think it's the most effective way to level alts these days. But as always, I welcome your thoughts to let me know if you level somehow differently. Let me know, but that's how I level. So the leveling updates, they introduce a couple of systems there. The good thing, I suppose, was that they mentioned that there is some kind of subsystem, a small system, quality of life system, that basically through you doing a couple of quests, guided quests, you will get also the most appropriate level, modest, probably green, level of highest item level gear that's available in the game at the moment when you start leveling. That's good. That's a good thing, because where else are you going to get the gear from? Unless, like I said, you pick the time walking week to come back into World of Warcraft, or at the very least level your alt, because that's cool. That's cool as well. They said that they're not going to say anything about housing, which is cool because I'm not interested in housing. But they basically confirmed that housing is coming in 11.2.7, not 11.2.5. So that's a little further away than we thought. It's probably about a month and a half to 2 months away, not a month away as I thought initially. And presumably they think that housing will take the rest of this year. Between housing and Legion Remix, it will be till the end of this year that people are going to preoccupy themselves with and stay subscribed until midnight drops. It's cool. Look, I'll be away overseas for the whole month in December. I will, of course, pre-compile some content for you to watch if you really wake up, my dear World of Warcraft players, and stick around, because I want to keep you around, and I will be playing a ton of World of Warcraft going forward into midnight and possibly into beta as well. I'm kind of contemplating there, so don't worry about that. But I'm saying that it seems like they are thinking about not leaving us in a lull, which is a good thing, right? So they're thinking about giving us enough to do. We'll see how it pans out. but at least they have some kind of good intent. I have to compliment them on that. Final thing I'm gonna say, it was the best thing of the whole panel, and it was that Ian, in the last like 30 seconds or a minute of this original panel, he says, okay, see you in midnight early next year. Early next year, in my opinion, my friends, means that it of course is not January and February while everyone is coming back from holidays and is waking up, but it can be March, April. It certainly is not going to be summer. Early year, it has to be March, April, which is good. We're going to survive until then. That's it. That's my thoughts now. I don't know if it's the last meaningful panel on World of Warcraft from Gamescom that we're going to see, but I am now returning to the game, resubscribing right now, yes, if I haven't mentioned yet. So probably, most likely, there will be some content from me on the features that I've missed out. I'll check out Manaforge Omega if you want my thoughts on the, if not boss guides, nobody needs boss guides these days, but if you want that kind of stuff from me, it's coming. Don't worry about it. So I'll talk to you soon. Thank you very much for being with me these few days of Gamescom. Obviously, spirits are high. Obviously, everyone is excited. I'm excited too. And I'll talk to you next time about something likely World of Warcraft related. Goodbye for now.